Yeah?
Yeah. World of Tanks on Xbox 360. I actually played the beta, the closed beta of this ages ago, but I wasn't sure if it was something that was. I didn't want to cause any riff. I don't want to fuck with the Russians, basically. So yeah, now it's out. I can talk about it properly. I'd never played the PC version. Unsurprisingly, it sounded like the most boring game of all time. But I was pleasantly surprised when I played it. I played a fair old chunk of it a while ago. If you know nothing about World of Tanks, the game is fairly obvious what it is from the name. You can pick a tank, and then you go into battle. And then most of the time, there's like capture the flag game types, but most fights that I played anyway ended up with you killing the other team because you only have one life. And if you've played in a tank in another game before, you can pretty much play this game. It's fairly simple to controls nicely. It doesn't, it looks perfectly pleasant on 360 for a free game. The production values are pretty good, I'd say. And I don't know. It's difficult to talk about it. It is a pretty boring game. It is slow ass tanks sort of pot-shotting into each other. But again, it's like, what can you say about it that's too damning? Because it's called World of Tanks. So what the fuck do you want? It does exactly that. And I think there is a reason that this game has done so tremendously well. And that is, it is a free game that feels perfectly playable as a free game. You get in there, you get a few tanks to begin with, you start to earn currency within the game, and then there's a steady stream of unlocks, none of which make huge amounts of differences, but there's like a whole tech tree for the different tanks. There's tons and tons of tanks. And one of the main things that you pay for, should you really get into the game, and don't get me wrong, it is a mechanically sound game, and I had fun. Capping a tank and blowing it up is quite good fun. Is it as fun as shooting a dude in Call of Duty or Battlefield? Not for me, but some people like tanks. I don't know. But one of the main things that you can pay for is premium, which I'll be honest, I don't know how much it costs, but it gives you a few little odds and sods, but it's effectively a coin doubler. That's what it is. I think it allows you maybe some privileges as well. I'm not 100% sure, but it's effectively a coin doubler, XP doubler. So you pay for that, and then you can start unlocking stuff a hell of a lot quicker. You can also buy gold in the game and all that sort of stuff. And it's just, I'm not offended by any of that stuff. This is how you do it. Like, and I'm glad that this is the success, not the screaming in your face, texting you every 2 minutes type of horror show that I've become. That like free to play has become like associated with me in a kind of Pavlovian way with horribleness. But there's nothing wrong with this. This is actually quite nice, and if you want to spend money on it, it's not yelling at you. It's all there. You could spend a fuckload on it if you wanted to, but you could spend nothing and play it for hours, which is exactly how these things should work. It's World of Tanks. Give it a go. It's free on Xbox 360. It's all right. You might love it. Lots of people clearly do.
Yeah, I played it for quite a while. I thought it was fine. As you pointed out to me, the download is very small because it's just a client, and then you have to do many downloads after that. That takes quite a lot of time. So if you're thinking you're going to download it and start playing immediately, you're not. I thought it was passably fine. The structure is exactly the same as War Thunder, was it? The PlayStation 4 free-to-play war game with warplanes?
Right, yeah.
War Thunder?
Yeah.
I mean, exactly the same in that when you score points, it's like, here are your points, here's the points you could have won if you had premium. I found the game quite enjoyable, very slow. I mean, the tanks you start off with are very slow.
Yeah.
And the problem with all free-to-play... There's two problems with free-to-play games that I noticed just in my playing World of Tanks this week, is that there are games you go into where you just don't have the equipment that people who bought premium clearly have. So there are some long-distance sort of anti-tank rockets where you can just get to the edge of the battlefield and then bang, game over, which is no fun at all. But I played several games. I was earning XP okay. I was unlocking stuff at a decent pace. I didn't feel aggrieved or sort of sort of cornered. I didn't feel like it was sort of really hankering after money from me.
Completely.
So the other thing that is wrong with the game, or not wrong, but another problem is that as somebody who played it during the launch week of the Xbox 360 version, if you were in I mean, it's a team game. It's like a strategy game, really, because if you're playing with a certain number of teammates and you are clever, I think the game could potentially be very rewarding. But I kept getting put in games with people who were just trying to see what this free game was all about. So I wonder how long it takes to filter those people out. It's not for me either. I'm not a tank man, but it's perfectly entertaining. I think with sort of 6 people or however many. I think it's 6 aside. It could be entertaining if you're a tank man or woman.
And there is some depth to the combat. You know, you can kind of take cover in bushes, and you become invisible on the map and things. And you're aiming. I think you're aiming for like the sides and back of the tank, and you have to lead shots and things like that. You know, it's the mechanics are there. It's a well-made game, and there's a fuckload of tanks if you like tanks. And I know people do like tanks.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, it's fine. I thought it was like for what it was. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.